Have you seen Batman vs. Superman? You probably have. It came out a while ago and was much maligned. Bad review. Pretty much everybody's already scraped their boots on this movie. But I like bad action movies. When a movie's so terrible that everybody agrees that it's bad and no one should see it, I go looking for hidden gems. That's just what I do. But as a comic book fan, and a movie fan, and a Batman fan, and a Superman fan, the movie's not great. I mean, I'm a child of the 80s. When I grew up, Superman looked like this, and Batman looked like this. So I was excited for a team-up movie. The movie came out right at the end of Avengers Fever when Endgame was coming out, so everybody thought it was kind of...
We look like a bunch of Johnny-come-latelys.
Yeah, that's kind of what it was. But still, I'm one of the people that defend Zack Snyder. He's a solid action director. Not so good when people start talking, but he's solid with action. And comic book movies are full of action. And I actually really like the dark Superman movie he made, Man of Steel, which this movie is a direct sequel to. So I thought, okay, I like comic books, I like dumb action, let's get into this.
First 5 minutes are a terrible retelling of Batman's origin story. First, we see young Bruce Wayne at a funeral, but we don't have any context yet. The voiceover says, "Things fall, things unearth," which is grammatically incorrect. Surely it should be "things are unearthed," and the fallen things are fallen. Yeah, in one sentence they use the word fall 3 times. Off to a running start. Then we go back in time to see the murder take place. I don't know why we had to see this out of order. This is a terrible title, by the way. All the Batman movies have these epic titles. The Superman movies have some of the greatest main titles in cinematic history. I have actually seen this shit in a textbook. But this movie where they finally come together, no. You just couldn't spare the budget. Just type it in the corner. Maybe they'll see it, maybe they won't. Oh, I guess Mr. Wayne doesn't feel like giving up his watch today. He's gonna start something. Who cares if his family's in danger? Don't take that shit.
Where are these sparks coming from this whole scene? Are there welders just above them, calmly welding while all this goes down?
This shot is trying to be a reference to Frank Miller's 1986 adaptation The Dark Knight Returns, where Bruce Wayne is flashing back to this night and remembers the killer's gun getting tangled in his mother's pearls. It's an interesting bit of imagery. It adds a little humanity to the mugger. You know, maybe he was as panicked as his victims were. Maybe he didn't really mean to shoot Bruce's mom. But in the movie version, no. He looks her right in the face and decides to kill her. Yeah, I'm bummed out too, Bruce. I wish the writing was better. Then we jump back to Bruce having fallen in a cave. This part is not from the comics. This is from the Christopher Nolan movies. And then let's have the bats lift him up, because what the f*** already?
The bats lift me up into the light, but the light is a lie.
Ugh, who wrote this voiceover? Everything fades to white and we get this pretentious title that fails to tell you that the movie's just jumped about 50 years into the future, where the events at the end of Man of Steel are playing out. Bruce Wayne awkwardly jumps out of his helicopter to see the city being destroyed by Superman and Zod. If he knew all this was going on, why didn't he show up as Batman? He would have had all his Batman gadget capability and he wouldn't have had to drive around town in this little Mini Cooper with flashing yellow hazard lights. Which, by the way, is he allowed to have those? Oh, I forgot. Bruce Wayne's superpower is that he's so rich he never has to worry about laws. He's driving around just checking things out. And he thinks, oh, I should call him to work. All the people at Wayne Tower are just standing around like goofballs watching the city get destroyed. They have to be told to evacuate. We should what? Should get out of the building because things are getting destroyed. World's greatest detective right here. This scene could have been really interesting if it wasn't from Bruce Wayne's perspective. Show me this exact same scene from the point of view of some random yahoo who doesn't know what's going on and is just running for their life. That would have made all this havoc genuinely scary. But no, we know Bruce Wayne is capable, so there's no danger. He just gets real mad. You knocked down my sign. Ooh, I'm gonna get you. And I refuse to feel bad for this guy, poignantly praying while the building collapses. He had a chance to get away when everybody else did. Can't blame Superman for that one. Then we skip ahead again, 18 months later from whenever that last time was, and we see people very carefully collecting pieces of the downed alien spaceship. Oh, he just hit it with a hammer. He knows what he's doing, getting that good green, delicious nougaty center. And the movie jumps again, because the more locations you have, the better the story is. Now we're in fake country Africa, where Lois Lane is reporting on, I don't know how fake the country is. I really don't like this version of Lois Lane. She's not tough enough. Lois Lane is supposed to be a big city reporter. All this Lois Lane does is get saved by Superman, but not before this warlord kills Jimmy Olsen. My friend Alex took a shit when he saw this. And if you're into Superman comic books, it's easy to understand why. Calling this disposable character, who turns out to be a CIA agent, Jimmy Olsen, is a kick in the nuts to Superman fans. Jimmy Olsen in the comic books is Superman's little buddy. He's a character that the audience can insert themselves into as he goes on adventures with his pal Superman. Superman even gives Jimmy Olsen, and only Jimmy Olsen, a special watch that he can use to contact the hero at any time. I guess the filmmakers looked at that entire history and went, oh, we'll subvert expectations by making him hateable and then shoot him in the face. That just, it's a weird, bold, stupid move. Okay, so Superman shows up and sorts things out faster than a speeding bullet. And maybe he killed some people? No, it was these obviously evil soldier guys that wanted to make it look like he did. Hey, Lois Lane, you want to stick up for him? Do some reporting? Oh, no, she's busy. So we flip to this congressional hearing with Holly Hunter and some of the villagers from Africa. And she says, he answers to no one, not even to
God!
Deconstruction of myths is something that every comic book nerd has thought about. What if Thor, Hulk, or Superman really existed? This question is the basis of a realism phase that comic books went through in the 1980s, and the movies went through in the 2000s. The problem is this movie never gets around to answering these questions. No, he's here, it's fine, don't think about it. Alright, I've been down on this movie a lot, but like with most bad action movies, there are some moments. This next scene, for instance, with Batman operating in Gotham City is outstanding. I'm a big fan of the 2000s Batmans. I also love the 90s Batmans. And I love Adam West, because how could you not? But this scene expresses Batman on film in a way that I've never seen any movie really do well. The scene is all from the perspective of some random police officers responded to a call about some screams in an abandoned building. The scene is played for horror, with brief glimpses of Batman, monstrously crawling around the walls like a nightmare creature. This is how criminals or the populace at large sees Batman. A freaking scary half-myth that jumps out of the shadows to punish the wicked. Cool. Then we switch to Lois Lane, sitting and doing laundry and drinking wine and worrying about her boyfriend because those are girl things. She very briefly remembers that she's a reporter before she takes a bath. I don't know why she gets in the bath with this thing. What do I do for a living again? Then her boyfriend Superman gets home. Wait a second, is there a bathtub right in front of the front door? This is a weird apartment.
Hi, honey, I'm doing boyfriend stuff.
Lois Lane expresses concern.
Oh, what are you doing? Oh, he's getting in the bath. Oh, what a treat.
Now we're back to Batman, grumpily walking around his basement. Alfred's working on some Batman tech that's kind of cool, and it turns out Batman's tracking the same guy that framed Superman in Africa. Alfred confronts Batman about mutilating some people. What is he doing this for attention? Is this a phase?
No, he's doing it because he's grumpy that Superman's here.
Superman just looks so cool all the time. Oh, get over it, Bruce. You're in your 50s. So we've got our main good guys, now here comes our main bad guy, Lex Luthor, another Superman character that the filmmakers don't seem to understand. Because if they did, they wouldn't have made him like this. He's a creep. In contrast, Lex Luthor in the comic books is extremely cool. He's intelligent, he's a billionaire who works out. He's kind of like an evil Tony Stark in the comics. And he's subtly threatening without having to freakishly intimidate people. And it fuels his character. Lex Luthor is a man that has everything. He's a genius. He's a perfect physical specimen. He's got all the money in the world. But no matter how perfect of a human being he is, he knows that he will never be as great as Superman. And that's why he does the things that he does. The Lex in this movie is twitchy and awkward. He comes off as the kind of person that constantly needs to fill silences because he's insecure. Jesse Eisenberg played Mark Zuckerberg, a real-life evil billionaire in the Social Distancing movie. It would have been cool to see him play Lex Luthor with the same kind of quiet Zuckerberg intensity. But I don't know, I guess Zack Snyder's got a vision. Lex Luthor acts unstable, threatens a senator, and then he says, "Give me access to the UFO, and give me Zod's frozen alien body." And the government guy goes, "Yup." For some reason. Then we go back to Superman making eggs and playing the hunky boyfriend. One of the African women is on TV, and she says, "I would like to ask him, which lives count and which do not?" She's basically asking, how does Superman deal with death?
How do I deal with death?
Are you going to make an attempt to answer this question, movie, or just, nope, next scene, okay. But things are maybe starting, things are popping off. This guy sure seems angry and hopeless, and doesn't like Superman very much.
Oh, he painted on my statue.
It doesn't seem like there's any kind of ideological struggle happening here. It's more just Superman and Batman with bruised egos. This scene in the newsroom with Perry White's kind of cool. At least he gets lines. Everybody else in the scene just watches the television. Lois Lane has one line where she answers the phone. Lois Lane? So you know it's her kids from the comics. And then she goes back to worrying about her boyfriend. Also in this scene, I completely forgot this, but this movie sets up the fact that apparently Metropolis and Gotham City are right next to each other. Just a ferry ride away. Like, you can see it across the river. Now it just seems rude that Batman and Superman have never talked to each other. They're neighbors. You think Superman would stop by on his way home sometime to say what's up, Batman? Anyway, Clark Kent is investigating something and runs into a kindly old black stereotype that warns him to get out of the city before dark, or you might run into the Batman. Apparently this little bit of hearsay is enough for Clark Kent to write a story about how bad Batman is. Did he do any investigation into what Batman actually does? The decades of inferred crime stopping? No, but he sure seems spooky. Hey Lois, real quick, can you tell everyone that you were with Superman in Africa and he doesn't really hurt people? Nope, she's finally off pursuing something. Well, at least she's having fun. Ugh, it leads us to another scene with creepy, hunched over Lex Luthor, threatening and waxing quasi-poetic.
Maybe I should turn my painting upside down, because demons don't come from below, they come from above.
Does that mean angels come up from below?
Is that what prairie dogs are?
And then we cut back to Batman. He's having a nightmare about bats. Which, okay, it's on brand. I checked, and you can actually buy a toy of this nightmare bat creature. If you're really into this 0.5 seconds of footage. Alfred tut-tuts.
You shouldn't stay up all night drinking. Why not go to a party and stay up all night drinking?
And he goes down and kind of looks at his bat suit. Then he goes over here and looks at this tattered Robin costume, which just raises a lot of questions, because this is the first and last we ever hear of Robin. Then he takes a shower in his big black shower, and very dramatically unveils his car and goes and drives to Lex Luthor's house. Wait, so they're just saying Metropolis and Gotham are the same city? They're at least within a short drive of each other. All the reporters at Lex Luthor's house seem to know who Bruce Wayne is. This movie makes me so mad. The next scene is the turd in the upper deck of the toilet that is the first act of this movie. Big grand gala ball at Lex Luthor's house. All the main characters come together at this party. What is this, an opera? And I don't hate it. It just makes me sad. This is the first time in film history
history that Superman and Batman have been on screen at the same time. And we get this shot. Of all the cool ways to compose characters in a frame, we get this one. It's shaky cam for no reason, and it's 90% back. We're just seeing the characters' backs. And we get these two shaky conversation shots with barely anything going on in the background. I think Superman's got some like mythological drawings, and Batman's got some techie looking stuff. The composer's asleep. There's no music. All the history and all the anticipation that goes into this moment. It's just a shame to see this so half-assed. The two characters snipe at each other for no better reason than, I don't like your style. I think you're a freak in a clown costume. In your dreams, Alfred. Dynamite. Just dynamite writing. And speaking of asses, Wonder Woman shows up. I don't mean to be crass, but this is kind of what the movie wants you to take away from her at this point. There's no effort to characterize her beyond being a beautiful woman at a party who stares at one of the male main characters and steals his stuff. I like this Wonder Woman, and she gets to be cool later on. This is just sort of another shabby intro to a cool character. Alright, everybody's introduced. The plot is really confused, so let's go over some stuff. Superman is a real thing, and he's on Earth and flying around helping people. But historically, people with a lot of power aren't very good, and people are worried he's going to turn into a space Hitler, even though the character never once entertains the thought of anything evil. If we're going to deconstruct Superman, have him actually come face to face with the concept of evil. Maybe there's a part of him that considers smashing up a city justified. But this Superman, no dimension. He's just a good boy, and he calls his mom, and he says, I wish life could be simpler. And she admits it was never simple. That's what I'm getting at. But Superman in this movie, pretty simple. It's cool they got Neil deGrasse Tyson in there, though. He's cool as hell. Look at him. He knows he's in a comic book movie. He's excited. Okay, now Lois Lane is in a lab, having her magic bullet analyzed. It's from a type of metal I've never seen. Hey, it's Lena Malone from the Hunger Games. Uh-oh, what's Lex Luthor doing? He's gonna irritate this guy into becoming a suicide bomber. Lois Lane is hot on his trail, though. She asks this general guy about space metal, but she doesn't get anywhere. Hey, it's Harry Lennox from the Matrix movies. And Clark Kent isn't making out any better. Apparently, he's getting obsessed writing about the Gotham Bat thing. He's saying the police are corrupt, and it's up to the press to do the right thing. Hey, Johnny Stewart cameo, that's cool. A couple scenes later, Wonder Woman is checking out fake art with Bruce Wayne. I see through your Babe in the Woods act. I don't think you've ever known a woman like me. It's pretty hammy, but at least you get some lines. This next scene is confusing, but at least something happens. First, the whole movie goes dark, and then we're transported into some kind of post-apocalyptic hellscape, where Batman fights a bunch of Superman-branded stormtroopers wearing Nazi helmets. Is that a Superman swastika? And then he gets captured and knocked out. Don't get me started on falling unconscious inside what's obviously a dream sequence. Oh, Superman's gonna tickle him. Ooh, the purple nipple! But wait, it was all a dream? He wakes up to this truly confusing visual of an unshaven man in robot armor, reaching out to him through a portal, warning him that Superman may be dangerous indeed. And he says, Lois is the key. And then he wakes up again? Was this all a dream? From the fluttering paperwork, it seems like not, but he was clearly asleep. I guess getting messages yelled at you through a portal makes you a sleepy boy. Someone sending Superman obviously leading information through the mail. And Batman is still detectiving it up in his basement. Now, it turns out what Batman's after is a big chunk of kryptonite which will kill Superman. Alfred asks him, to keep it out of Luthor's hands, you mean? To destroy it. And Batman says, no, it's in case I need to use it against Superman. Oh, there's time in Gotham, Alfred. How many good people are left? Batman seems really scared. Meanwhile, Clark Kent's poking around Metropolis and meeting the families of inmates that have been killed because they bore the Bat brand, because Batman cut him up and burned him. But instead of investigating corruption in the prison system, or maybe writing an article about inmate violence, he just decides this is all Batman's fault. And speaking of Batman, here he comes. Ooh, he's coming. There he is. He's posing. He's got a gun? Oh, it's just a tracking darts. Okay. Oh, here he goes. Oh, he's Batmaning around the streets. God damn, did he just kill those guys? He is causing... Damn, Batman is causing a lot of havoc in this scene. It's kind of cool. Maybe it's because I'm in my late 30s. But all I can think about in this scene is property damage. And he turns the corner and, oh, there's Superman. Just standing there. Excuse me. Superman's just standing around, not stopping the criminals. But he seems determined to go after Batman. Next time to shine your light into the sky, don't go to it. Bat is dead. Bury it. And then Batman says, do you bleed? Come on, Batman, do your research. Again, neither of the characters have really clear motivations to fight each other. They just seem to have seen the title of the movie and know they're supposed to fight, so they both get angry. And when good guys get angry, Lex Luthor gets the kryptonite. Now we're gonna go back to this congresswoman, presenting some more deconstructive questions about the nature of good. In a democracy, she suggests, good is a conversation, not a unilateral decision. So Superman goes and asks his mom what that means. She says, be their angel, be their monument. Well, be none of it. You don't owe this planet a thing. This is kind of interesting. They're sort of touching on relative morality through Superman's mom telling him to be good. Lois Lane's lead with the general secretary guy finally seems to pay off. He tells her that the space metal bullet was developed by Lex Luthor, and that there were a bunch of shady soldiers working for Luthor in fake country Africa the day that all those people got burnt up. So Lex Luthor is such a genius, he arranges this shadow operation to try to frame Superman, and he outfits them with the latest incriminating Lex Luthor technology. It would be like Elon Musk sending a fleet of self-driving Teslas to go kill Superman. Lex Luthor tells Holly Hunter that biggest lie in America is that power can be innocent, and it seems like something's up. Bruce
Bruce Wayne knows something's up. Ooh, it's because he's seen it on 4 TVs. He sees things 4 times better than everybody else. And here comes a nice African lady. Oh no, she was part of the Luthor cover-up too. God. Alright, Luthor's master plan, such as it is, seems to be in place. And the next scene is pretty pivotal. Superman walks into the United States Capitol building, ready to discuss serious issues of morality and take responsibility for his actions in front of the United States government. This is a neat scene. Let's hear Superman talk and defend himself. Oh boy. Oh, well, Lex Luthor was just trying to reel us in with an interesting philosophical discussion. He's like, oh, I should have saved him. I'm Lois. You guys just don't understand him. Oh God, Superman, what are you doing out there? He says I didn't see it, Lo. Lo? And she says, this still means something. You did on my world, but my world doesn't exist anymore. And then he leaves.
Oh my god, this movie is so long. I'm gonna have to split this up for now, but don't worry, I got tons to say about the second part. So thanks for watching and keep an eye out for that. Batman, Batman, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Hi!